All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Flux Motorsport TV. I am your host, Carlin Hicks, for tonight's round 5 of the Season 5 Flux Motorsport IndyCar Championship here at Watkins Glen, the world-famous Watkins Glen International Circuit, historic home of the U.S. Grand Prix between 1961 and 1980. The Flux IndyCars will be running on the short course here tonight, and we are looking forward to what should just be a fantastic night of racing here on Flux TV. Midway through the Flux Season 5 IndyCar Championship at the moment, 4 rounds in the books, 4 rounds to go. The back end fresh off the race at Indianapolis, the legendary Motor Speedway last week, and these guys are gearing up for the second half run towards the Flux IndyCar Championship. Going to give you a rundown of the drivers here. As usual, a 20-minute qualifying session followed by a 45-minute championship event. There is quite a bit of brow wiping in the garage area this week. There was a very good chance of possible rain here at Watkins Glen this week, and really here, day of, we found out that there will not be, so we are not expecting to see any rain. It is cool temperatures, as you can see, 60 degrees ambient, 80 degrees on the track. Heavy cloud cover here in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York, but nothing that should affect the drivers. A cool, really not a cool track, a lower end of optimum, I'd say. But we should have some pretty good racing out of it. Right now, the driver we have been following along with in the 28 DHL Honda is your current IndyCar points leader. That's Super Crusher from Australia. A little bit about the cars we give you every week. They use identical Dallara chassis with the option of a Honda or Chevy power plant, which comes with Honda and Chevy aero kits as well. Cars are pretty much on the dyno identical, and we've seen it as Chevy and Honda have gone back and forth for much of the history of Flux Motorsport IndyCar competition. But Super Crusher coming in as your points leader holds an 11-point advantage. He has 3 podiums in the first 4 races, including 1 pole position. We'll take a look at his season results that has got him to this point. Super Crusher got that first career Flux IndyCar win in the season opener on the high banks of the Daytona International Speedway in just a thrilling ride. Followed that up with another podium, a 3rd place finish, and a pole position from the pole at Willow Springs in round 2. Had a little bit of a let-off, banged the car up a little, ended up 6th at Long Beach, but recovered strong for his 3rd podium of the season with a 3rd place run last week at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. However, he was involved in some incidents, and an incident that is under steward's review, so we'll wait to see the announcement on that. Nonetheless, comes in with a small but decent points lead of 11 points. The kid from down under has been fast in that DHL Honda. He's been competing in the IndyCar since season 3, and he's just been getting steadily better. And as I said, got that first win, broke through for that first win at Daytona, and now here looking to put it together at the Glen. Right now looking pretty decent in qualifying. 2nd in the point standings at the moment is Just Piddlin. I believe Just Piddlin is on the pit lane at the moment. He's in the number 2 Verizon Chevrolet. We'll wait to see him come by, as we're just going to let these guys go through. Just Piddlin coming in 99 points, 11 off the lead, and he's had a very consistent season to do that. A guy still looking for his first win in the series, but with a 4th place at Daytona, a 2nd place at Willow Springs, a 2nd place from the pole at Long Beach, his first career IndyCar pole, But a very rough Indianapolis last time, got caught up in an incident with Taijo, ended up finishing 9th, several laps down with damage, and that's what's got him at the moment at second in points, 11 back. This is the American driver in that Chevy, has really made a step up. He made his debut last season, and this season has come with a full-on ride, and you got to give him some credit. That number 2 Dallara Chevy has looked very solid in his hands, and we'll have to wait and see if he can pull it all together. Very big race here today as we start the second half of the season. Check in with live feed here. Some rooters for Super Crusher. As we said, he's had one heck of a season so far. Can't take that away from him. Third place in the points coming in is McToasty in the number 10 NTT Data Chevrolet out of the Ganassi stables. McToasty, the winner at Long Beach, which was his 4th career Flux IndyCar win, which is tied for the most all time. And right as we say that, he goes up and puts up the fastest lap. Blisteringly fast laps here at the Watkins Glen short circuit, just a 2.52 mile course. So they'll run laps well under a minute on this lightning quick track. And right there, McToasty, as we said, comes in 3rd in points, and that's including the fact that I believe he did not make the Willow Springs round. Double checking here, McToasty was 2nd at Daytona on the high banks, and he missed the entry at Willow Springs, but followed it up with that 2nd consecutive win at the Long Beach Street Circuit. Did not have the race he really wanted to at Indianapolis, finishing 8th after he got caught up in some late incidents, but nonetheless 81 points, 29 points down from Super Crusher, but still plenty of time left in the championship, particularly if he can make up ground here over the second half. 4th place in the championship in the 61 PureTech Chevy. That is the Flux Season 3 IndyCar champion 2 seasons ago, OGR, a Cat Guy. Cat Guy, of course, a historic season in Season 3. He won 4 of 7 races to take the championship and has yet to be in victory lane since. It's been a lot of misfortune for him. Hold on. Take an audio break. Back in a minute. Alright, sorry about that, back with you. Cat Guy, as we said, that historic first season, he's been looking to get those results ever since. So far this season, Cat Guy, 6th place at Daytona after contending for the win. Had a rough week at Willow Springs, finished 12th as he got damaged on the first lap. Came back with a very solid podium. He was very happy with a 3rd place run at Long Beach, took him right back into the championship, and managed to finish 4th last week at Indianapolis in what was an absolutely thrilling duel with the eventual winner, HHVC. We'll get to that a little later, but Cat Guy came very, very close to picking up the win. It has him 4th in the championship, just 32 points back, and of course 35 are paid to a race winner. So with 4 rounds to go, plenty of time for Cat Guy to make up ground. He comes from this neck of the woods, I believe, so this is kind of a home race for him here at Watkins Glen. And this is a guy who I believe he won here back in Season 3. So Cat Guy has the experience at this track, and he needs to. 4th in the championship, still very much in it. 5th in the championship, meanwhile, is the guy we would like to use to get a track walk at some point in the number 98 Napa Auto Parts Honda. That is HHVC from Australia, and he is fresh off his first career Flux IndyCar Championship win 1 week ago, and it came at the best place it can come, the venerable Indianapolis Motor Speedway. HHVC got into a thrilling duel near the end with Cat Guy and Mark C. And Cat Guy put the car, scraped the wall there on the penultimate lap, had to hang on for 4th place, but HHVC drove out in front and by a narrow margin held on over Mark C. As I said, sorry, having some audio difficulties here on Flux TV today. We're going to stay with the feed, though, so if you lose the audio, don't sweat it. Going to stay with the feed. As I said, HHVC got that first career win last week at Indianapolis, and really, he outdueled one of the best on the high-speed ovals in Cat Guy to get it done. And he's got to be flying high. He comes in 5th in the points, just 34 back. Still very much alive. And, got to believe that he's feeling it. All right, 6th in the points. Coming out in the number 26 HH Greg Honda from the Andretti stable is another Australian driver, Mark C. Mark fresh off his career best IndyCar finish of 2nd last week at Indianapolis. He was just part of that fabulous 3-car duel towards the end with Cat Guy and HHVC. And as I said, got his career best finish. He's currently 6th in the points, 46 back, so he's got some ground to make up. But if he can get himself to the front and get on the podium consistently here in the back half of the season, then he is by no means out of it. 6 minutes still left in qualifying here for the 45-minute race. I want to get through the top 10 at least. Muttley in the 22 Menard Chevy coming in 7th in the points. He is 51 points back, looking to make up some ground, still very much alive for that season top 5. 8th place in the points is the defending Flux IndyCar champion Ty Joe, and it really hasn't been the season he's wanted to have so far. But he'll be looking to turn it around here at Watkins Glen. 9th in the points was Immortalis. I do not see him in the field this week, and that brings us to 10th place, and that is Ed Yeager, the American driver in the number 6 Preferred Chevy. rounding out our top 10. We've got a few others in the field. Cracked Piston fielding an entry for the Australian driver as well. 5 minutes left to go. A little bit of a technical note, as we've said. We tell you this every week. The IndyCars have open and full turbo boost during qualifying, but during the race, the turbo boost is restricted. It's a difference of about 75 horsepower, I believe, and the drivers get 10 push-to-pass that they can use. It's a finite amount, 10 push-to-pass for 10 seconds over the length of the race, and you have to use those 10 push-to-pass and conserve them however you feel fit. But when that push-to-pass button is open, it in essence gives you full turbo boost for 10 seconds and gives you the boost of horsepower. Now, that is not available in qualifying. They also have 2 different sets of tires, the red alternate tires, which are the softer tires, or the black sidewall primaries. You're not going to see that on the graphics here, though, for the race broadcast. For whatever reason, what we see is usually going to always be the alternate tires, but I can assure you drivers are going to be using the hard primary tires. There might even be some guys that use a staggered combination of the various tires. That's entirely possible. So basically all the tires on your screen have red sidewalls on them, but they are very distinct between the 2 of them. But Watkins Glen, track I'm proud to say I got a win in the rain here one time in the Indy cars, and it is a very difficult track here on the short circuit, running it without the boot, 2.52 miles. And if our points leader's still on a hot lap, trying to get that bonus point for the pole. He's got 1 pole position already this season. He's whipping that through the bus stop there. And if he's going to give us a lap, let's go ahead and try to get our track walk in here with the current points leader, Super Crusher. Comes around the final corner here onto the... Nope, and he's going to back us off, so somebody else is going to give it to us. All right, let's find somebody else who's close to the start-finish line. We'll let it be Mark C. in the 26 car. Come down the front stretch. You got to climb the hill to gain speed. Then it's downhill towards turn 1. This has got to be aggressive, but you cannot get too far to the inside or it'll make you very loose. Now here comes the climb up through the S's. This is the world famous climb through the S's. Much less deadly than it once was, but it's a tire climb for speed right here, trying to max out as you're going uphill, and then right as you level off, you're going to hit the bus stop chicane here. And it looks like Mark got a little bit loose there on the bus stop chicane. But then off that chicane, you come through the carousel turn here, and this is very high speed. It starts to level off. It's slightly banked, so you just keep up the momentum the whole time. Going to see a lot of guys trying to pass through there. Now it's down into, it says 8 here on Project Cars 2, but it's actually turn 10. It's an 11-turn circuit, I believe. And then through turn 11 and onto the front stretch at Watkins Glen International, the short circuit. Right now, we are getting down near the end of qualifying, and Super Crusher currently still topping the chart with a 53.113. Ty Joe is a tenth of a second back at 240. But with the starting procedure here, the rolling start will be a single file rolling start here in the IndyCar Championship. It makes the track position, the starting position from qualifying, all the more important. And right now, there are a few names surprised to see down a little farther. Pogo, Cat Guy, not quite up into the 53s, but these cars very different. You see it every week, those of you who watch us on Flux TV. These cars are very different in race trim than they are in qualifying trim, and you can see a lot of differences in the race, not to mention just having to keep the car underneath you can be very difficult. But with qualifying winding down here, Super Crusher still hanging on. All right, let's see what HHV's got. We'll watch these guys finishing laps if we can catch them. HHV from 5th place. He goes wide, and I don't know that that's going to get the job done as the session times out. Just Pidlin's going to cross the line. Doesn't improve it much. Super Crusher's done. All right, let's see what McToasty's got. He's just over a 1/10 of a second back. Long Beach winner this season. And I don't think he's going to add to it here. Maybe Ty Joe, the reigning Flux IndyCar champion from Season 4, might be the last one who has a shot here. And he puts that thing into the wall trying to push it, and I think Super Crusher's going to hang on. We're going to let the final, as his teammate is the final one coming out. I don't know if McToasty's still at speed. Looks like he is, but the clock's about to run out on him anyway. All right, folks, so qualifying has finished. This will be your starting lineup for the Season 5 Flux Motorsport IndyCar Championship Round 5 at Watkins Glen International. On the pole in the Honda number 28 DHL car is the points leader. Super Crusher picks up that pole bonus point with a blistering 53.113 lap. The reigning IndyCar Series champion Ty Joe will be starting in second. McToasty, winner from Long Beach, will be starting third. Mark Webber has been a part-timer, but he did get a victory back at Willow Springs, so he'll be looking to add to that. He will start in fourth. Last week's winner from Indianapolis, HHVC, will be starting fifth. Just Pidlin, second in the points, will be sixth on the grid. OGR Cat Guy, the Season 3 IndyCar champion, will start seventh. Mark C., second last week at Indianapolis, will start eighth. Pogo Mojo will start in ninth. Muttley will start in 10th place. Rebs Martin will be in the Snapple car. He will start 11th. Cracked Piston will start 12th. Survivor will be in the Doom Honda in 13th, and Ed Yeager is shotgun on the field in 14th. All right, folks, 45 minutes, and laps turning in the probably the 55-second plus range. These guys are not going to be as fast as they were in qualifying without the open turbo boost. I think what you're going to see here is, let's see, 45 laps plus 5 every 12. I don't know, 50 laps, 50-something laps in that range. So we're going to see plenty of laps here on the 2.52-mile Watkins Glen short circuit. As we said, the rundown towards the second half of the Flux IndyCar Championship will be Road America next week, Laguna Seca in week 7, and the season finale at the Texas Motor Speedway. But it's a big weekend at Watkins Glen. Tomorrow, the Flux Sports Car Championships start at 7 p.m. Eastern, midnight UK time, as the GTEs and the LMP2s will be running in the Flux Sports Car Championship. That's at 7 and 9 p.m. Eastern. And then on Sunday, 8 p.m. Australian time, that's 10 a.m. UK time, 5 a.m. in the States, the Flux V8 Supercars Championship, also here at Watkins Glen. So a big weekend of racing, multiple series in action here at the world-famous Watkins Glen International. Glad to have you with us on Flux TV. 14 cars in the field for tonight's Flux IndyCar Championship race round 5 at Watkins Glen. The clock's running down for these guys to make their final repairs and adjustments from qualifying. As we said, we're going to see a formation lap and then a single file start here at Watkins Glen. And there's they roll out. They've got a formation lap to go around the 2.52-mile circuit. Super Crusher winning his second pole of the season here at Watkins Glen. And with the points lead, that's exactly where you want to be. He's got Tyjo right behind him, McToasty, and of course the very quick Mark Webber. Webber getting that win earlier in Willow Springs. It was not without some controversy, as there was more than a bit of contact at the line. But I think for the most part, this guy's has established himself as a quick driver. All right, walked you through the 2.52 miles of this circuit. These guys dodging a bullet with the rain not moving in as many expected. As I said several seasons back when I got a win in the wet here in the IndyCars, it is a very challenging track in the rain, so these guys probably lucking out. Some guys probably were hoping for it. We'll be looking to see Cat Guy, Pogo, Mark C, some of those guys further back in the field. Didn't get the qualifying that they wanted, but we're waiting for the lights that are going to send us going here at Watkins Glen in round 5. Glad to have you with us on Flux TV. Let's get myself ready to get on the chase cam. Our drone pilot is ready. And it looks like Super Crusher just pulled out. I'm wondering what happened there. We have a start. Not sure. Tyjo jumping out to the lead. Super Crusher slowed down coming to the start. And I really don't know what happened there. He was coming down to the pole. He pulled off into the grass right at the lights. Tyjo got going. He jumps to the lead. He's got HHVC all the way up from back in 5th, right on his tail, with Mark Webber in 3rd, just piddling 4th. Cat Guy's up to 5th. Pogo's all the way up to 6th. And we're going to need some chase cam action to get all of this. Let's get on board with Pogo in 6th in the Boy Scouts Honda Dale Coyne car. And no idea what happened there. Cat Guy going off the track. Gets it back together. But just like that, wow, I don't have to get a report from trackside what happened with the points leader, Super Crusher. But right at the start of the race, he pulled to the left side of the track, pulled the car off the circuit. So he had just won the pole, comes in as the points leader, and it looks like, unless we could very well see a new points leader. But Tyjo jumping out to the lead from 2nd place, and he goes wide there going out of the bus stop into the carousel, gets it back underneath him. HHVC, last week's Indianapolis winner, he's got Mark Webber right on his tail, and they're being followed by the 2 Americans, just Piddlin and Pogo, 3 Americans including Cat Guy, who's got Muttley right on his tail. Farther back in the field, Rebs Martin, battling survivors, moved up to 10th. McToasty, through all the action, missed what happened with him. He started 3rd on the field, 3rd in the points championship as well, and somewhere in all that action, we missed him falling all the way back in the field. He's back in 11th now, just about to move past survivor into 10th. So it's going to take a recovery drive now from the championship contender McToasty, and with the points leader out of the race, McToasty really needs to get moving. He could gain quite a bit. Cracked piston already on the pit lane in the number 8 car, and it looks like he's missing a wing in that Gallagher Chevrolet. And unfortunately for him, we're going to see him making some more extensive repairs here. But back up front, meanwhile, we've got Tyjo leading as Mark Webber has in fact gotten around HHV. Webber, of course, the winner at Willow Springs back in round 2 for his first career Flux IndyCar victory. And now he's chasing the defending IndyCar champion. These guys will have to pit for fuel and tires. And really, you've got to keep these cars change quite a bit over the course of a run. And we're going to be looking to see who comes and who goes. But we're still very early. As I said, at 55-second laps, you got to figure we're going to do somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 or close to it, plus or minus a few. So we're still very early on in this one. Battle for the lead looks like it's coming up soon. One of the interesting things here about the speed of Watkins Glen is that there is aero. You are going to have get some aerodynamic push or aero understeer behind cars here, because it is very hard to get the clean air. The cars are traveling so fast, it races almost like a speedway in that way, as we're watching just Piddlin trying to get by HHVC. HHVC jumped all the way up to second after starting fifth. And right now trying to hang on as just Piddlin, who's second in the points championship, doing everything he can to move up. McToasty still back in 10th. He's trying to work his way around Revs Martin, and I should be... Ooh, and it looks like he gets run off. Revs Martin goes wide on him. I don't know if he saw him. McToasty goes ahead and blows the bus stop, but I believe he lost time, so he should not be penalized there. Didn't gain any time on it. But I don't think Revs Martin saw him on the outside. McToasty was not on the push to pass. He just got a good run, and looks like Revs didn't see him and pushed him to the outside. That could have been disastrous for the Long Beach winner. All right, back up front. We have a big accident. Big accident. Looks like Pogo's in it. HHVC is in it. That is coming up through the S's. HHVC is damaged. Revs Martin just does get by, but it looks like we've got Ed Yeager maybe. HHVC's definitely damaged. Just Piddlin. That car is in bad shape. We got a yellow flag out in that section of the course, but it looks like HHVC and just Piddlin racing for third got together coming through the S's, and just Piddlin then gets hit in the back by Cracked Piston as he's trying to get the car going. This is just looking like a big disaster coming up through the S's. Just Piddlin is on his roof. Let's hope he's got a reset button to get that car going. Otherwise, we may not see him out here. They're weaving around him with the yellow flag still out in that section of the track. HHVC, and it looks like just Piddlin's parking the car. HHVC, that's got some serious damage on it. He's just crab walking that thing, trying to get back to the pits. But a big accident between HHVC and just Piddlin, second and fifth in the points championship. And so we've got 3 of the top 5 in the points running into serious trouble here. Ed Yeager's on the pit lane. He came into that. Mark C is on the pit lane. He came into that. So big accident here in the early going at Watkins Glen has shuffled things up. We have our second retirement. We lost Super Crusher right at the start, and it looks like just Piddlin has ended up pulling that car into the garage and retiring it as he had serious damage, ended up on his roof, and it looks like the similar thing's going to happen there from Cracked Piston. Looks like Cracked Piston has decided to park the car with the damage, so right off the bat, just 8 laps into the race, just over 7 minutes gone by, and we've already got 3 cars out of the race here at Watkins Glen. Meanwhile, back to the battle at hand. Taijo shot up to the lead from second, as you see HHV still trying to get that thing back to the pits valiantly. He's being chased by Mark Webber, and they have about a 6-second gap back to Pogo and Muttley, running third and fourth. So there's definitely going to be a major shakeup in the points after this week. Checking in from Super Crusher, it says he got disqualified off the start. Have no idea why. Usually that would be a speed violation. I don't think that's quite kosher, especially with the fact that it's the AI marshal that calls that. Definitely not something we like to see, and definitely be something we'll have to sort out. But either way, a terrible decision has put Super Crusher in a rough position in the championship. Have to take a look at the footage and see what happened, but usually I'm guessing some kind of glitch. That's about the best guess I have. Throughout tech testing, never saw anything like that. Says you were wrong place off the start. Yeah, that's some kind of glitch. I don't know what to say about that other than the racing gods are cruel. Definitely have to look into procedures about ways we can avoid that, but either way, it's a tough situation for Super Crusher, who came in here the points leader. But to his benefit here, as we said, second place in the points has had trouble. Third place in the points has had trouble. Fifth place in the points has had trouble, so we're not seeing anything just yet as we're getting close now into 10 minutes, and it looks like Mark Webber really starting to put the pressure. We're going to get on board in that cockpit with Mark Webber. As I said, the Australian driver, your Willow Springs winner in round 2, and came out, qualified 4th, but he has shot straight up to the front. And we'll see if he's, he has a fast car. We'll see if he's got a fast car over the whole of the run, but he is stalking Taijuan. Now, he's in the position right here where you're getting some of that dirty air that's causing what we Americans call aero push or aerodynamic understeer. And they're coming up on lap traffic, so Taijuan is going to be seeing it as well. This might be the opportunity for Mark. And you can see Taijuan sliding that car around. He might be screaming for when it's time to come in and get some new rubber. And we said we had 14 starters, and it looks like somebody pulled out of the way there. 14 starters, just 11 still running here early, as we had a major accident coming up through the S's between HHVC and Just Piddlin'. Both of them, or at least HHVC, still in the pit lane getting repaired, while Just Piddlin' was forced to retire the car. And that definitely hurt him coming in. So first and second, both out of the race. First and second in the championship, both out of the race. And that has the rest of the guys scrambling to get what they can, because this is going to throw this championship into chaos here in the back half of the season. Pogo running in third in that Boy Scout car, and we said to watch him. He was 9th in qualifying, did not get the qualifying lap he wanted, but this is a race day guy in Pogo, still looking for that first Flux IndyCar victory, but right now running 5 seconds off the leaders. He's running at pace with these leaders, and we said watch him coming through the field. He was able for once really to avoid all the carnage, and now finds himself in a pretty good position. He has got about a second on the veteran driver Muttley in the 22 Menards car, while the former IndyCar champion Cat Guy back in 5th. These are the guys really in contention at the moment, all within about 7 seconds of the lead. Take a look at Revs Martin in the 27, Super Crusher's teammate. He has moved up from, I believe he was 11th at the start. He's managed to avoid the trouble, narrowly avoided making contact with some of the cars that were out on the track, and he's currently battling for 6th place with McToasty. And that's an important one. McToasty started 3rd, came in 3rd in the championship, started 3rd in the race, and somewhere along the way that we didn't see, he got off track. His car's okay, but he's had to come back through the field. He's moved up from 10th to 7th as we approach the 30-minute mark, and right now he's trying to get by Revs Martin. And has McToasty used any push to pass? No. Matter of fact, I don't see a whole lot of them having been used so far, and it looks like Mark C got by Taijuan, and that means Taijuan had a problem. I don't see damage on Taijuan's car, but we go through the field, and Taijuan must have had an off-track excursion, and a big one. He's 14 seconds back now with no damage, so it looks like he had a problem out there, more than likely in the turn 1 section, and Taijuan has fallen back from the lead to 5th place. So unfortunate for Taijuan, and meanwhile that shuffles us back up. Mark Webber, meanwhile, has taken the lead here on lap 14, and he has about 5 seconds on Pogo behind him. But Webber, as we said, took the win at Willow Springs, looking to get his second win of the season. And he's come through the carnage and now has a pretty decent-sized lead, by no means insurmountable. In that Nova Nordisk number 83 Ganassi car. And now that he's got a clean track, he's turning the fastest lap, so this might be exactly what he needs to build a lead and bring home that second win. Little fall off there. Meanwhile, the battling continuing. McToasty finally got by Revs Martin. He's now up into 6th and is going to be looking to catch Taijo directly in front of him. These guys really need to get a good points day with 1 and 2 in the championship, both out. I mean, you really have a chance to blow this thing wide open. You need to get everything you can, and McToasty just continuing that recovery drive, now up into 6th place with a lot that can still go on. He's a late comer in races, and as he's trying to run down Taijo now for 5th place, we'll see where that goes. Cat Guy running in 4th. See where their lap times are at, as Mark and Pogo are right around the 56-second flat mark. A little bit farther than that, and Muttley and Cat Guy are gaining on them. Muttley and Cat Guy starting to put together, you know, those guys, I know both of them using setups that are more designed for the race. As we are inside of 30 minutes, and as we were on 17 laps, that tells me we're right about where I thought, 50-51 laps. Is what we're going to run on the board. So these guys do have to make a pit stop. And when do you want to do it? Becomes the question. All right, Joe and McToasty. Give a quick look to our guys trying to get some recovery. Private Survivor still running pretty well. Got that thing up to 8th place. Started 13th on the field. He's got it up to 8th, 28 seconds back. There we've got Mark C. got caught up in that ag. We got the first one hitting the pits. We got McToasty hitting the pits. And real quick, we're going to take a station break. We're going to try to get Super Crusher, who came in as the points leader, into the booth. And we'll get right back to the action. But McToasty, the first one of the lead lap cars, deciding to hit the pit lane, and he has no repairs. It's a basic fuel and tires. And he decides to make it with 28 minutes to go. So he makes it early, decides to get it over with, hopefully get an advantage on fresh tires, and try to move up as he goes down a lap on the cycle of pit stops. As there goes Mark Webber right there. As a matter of fact, he's going to come out right behind the race leader, Mark Webber, just off the lead lap. Would have been better to be in front of him and slowing him down. But McToasty's going to come out right behind him with Mark still waiting to make a pit stop. All right, first thing you got to do, Super Crusher, is make sure you're in party chat. Go to your party settings and make sure you're in party chat. And make sure your voice is being shared, that you have share audio on. We got some debris down there in turn 11, the final corner, and the color of the debris was black, and Survivor's on the pit lane, and I'm going to guess that that's his stuff being replaced. So tough break for him. We're waiting to see the front runners here. When are they going to make the pit? You know, is anybody going to push it long? We obviously McToasty going for the short pit. He comes out. He says 50 seconds. He's just behind the race leader. as Muttley and Cat Guy slowly moving in on Pogo in second place, but Mark Webber still in control of the race up front from that fourth place starting spot. The big accident, of course, the story, HHVC and Just Piddlin were caught up in that. Mark C, I believe, got caught up coming through. Just Piddlin had to park it. Got you with me yet, Super Crusher? Yeah, make sure your audio is being shared. Check the settings. All right, we're glad to have Super. You're going to go into party settings. When it says your audio settings or whatever, it'll say share audio. Let's make sure it's being shared. Come here, boy. The little one's trying to steal an entire pizza. Can't let him do that. All right, so ask you what happened to the car, but obviously there was some kind of glitch. We'll call it a problem with customs getting into the States for the race, but you've been here all season. I'm not really sure what happened with that. Never seen that before in any of the tech testing, but if it told you the wrong position and DQ'd you, I'm assuming that that's a glitch in the system that caused that. Either way, it's unfortunate. You came in with an 11-point lead. You stretched it to 12 with the... and it looks like Mark's going to let McToasty by on the fresher tires as McToasty went for the short pit. And he may be gaining a bit of an advantage. If he starts pulling away from Mark here, you'll know he's gaining an advantage by making the early pit stop. But nonetheless, you come in, you'll still be in a decent points situation going into the final 3 races of the season. But in the meanwhile, we're glad to have you in the booth here in the color commentary position as we, right now, as we're getting near the crossed flags for halfway, we're just waiting to see the other lead lap cars come into pit. McToasty's now back on the lead lap, and he's already pitted, and it looks to me like he's gapping Mark Webber.
Does Pogo look like he has a little bit of damage to you? Looks like he's just bit right hand down.
Taking a look there on the Boy Scouts Honda, I can't quite see it, but they are moving in on Mark. Mark has slowed down. He was a 58.0 that last time by. Something happened to him coming up through the S's, maybe.
Bit of dirty air from Toasty in front of him.
That's possibly what it was. That's what he'll be hoping. But nonetheless, Pogo, Cat Guy, and Muttley are slowly moving in. Rebs Martin has now moved into 5th as Taijo becomes the 2nd of our lead lap cars hit the pit lane. Taijo shot out to the lead right at the start when Super Crusher had his problem. Didn't catch what happened to him, where he went off, but he had some kind of major off because it put him all the way back in the middle of the pack, and now he's finally hitting the pit lane. But as these guys get ready to cycle through the pit stops, Super Crusher, what was your strategy for a race at this place?
It was just to run as long as you could and then put on new tyres and just kill them to the end, basically. So yeah,
make the quickest pit stop. Yeah, make the quickest pit stop you could. Yeah, there's really in a race of this distance, I've run a lot of these. I'd say there's 3 of them that you can, or 3 ways you can go. You can go dead center on your run, right at the midway point, or you can run long, you can run short. Short has the advantage of having fresher tires when other people have weaker tires. You can gain time on that if you're confident in your car at the end of a run, because you're going to be on old tires at the end of the race. If you're confident that the balance of your car and your setup is good and that you can maintain lap times, as we see Pogo pitting from 2nd, as is Mark, as is Cat Guy. So it looks like 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Everybody's coming into the pit lane. Let's see whose pit crew's the best. Going to get it onto the chase cam so we don't lose view of these guys. And Muttley, he was the last one in. So let's see whose pit crews make a difference in this race. It's just fuel and tires. If you didn't have any repairs, you need to make sure you didn't put it on to get those. Mark's off the jacks. Pogo is off the jacks. Cat Guy's going. Away. He's away. Pogo's away and Mark's away. And it looks like they're going to come out.
A lot closer, though.
Yeah, he is a lot closer, and they're going to come out the way they came in. So the pit crews pretty much hitting it dead even. And it's really who's fastest on cold tires. Who can come out on cold tires?
Toasty's a couple seconds behind Muttley now.
Yeah,
on hot tires, so.
He definitely gained an advantage coming in early like that. He's now within 12 seconds of the lead after the trouble that he had running through the back of the field, and he's moving in on hot tires on Muttley. You said it. Pogo's still 2 seconds back. He's got Cat Guy right on his... No, Cat Guy's not right on his tail. That's a lap car.
Cat Guy looked to be faster at the end of the stint, so he might come on right at the end of the race. He was getting maybe half a second a lap quicker than the others at the end of the stint.
I've raced with Cat a long time. I've even been his teammate before. Somebody's around.
Is that a car on their lid? On the main straight?
Wasn't Survivor.
Just after the first corner. Yeah. Mark's on his lid.
Uh-oh. Looks like Mark C's on the roof just after turn 1. And if he doesn't have a reset button, he's going to be done for the day.
There's Taijo. He might have come in contact with Taijo. Taijo's in the wall, just up the hill.
Yeah, trying to get a view on these guys. Yeah, Taijo definitely got into it. Yeah, he's banging that wall. Let's see if Mark... I don't think Mark's going to be able to get this going.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to reset.
Looks like Mark and Taijo had contact. Taijo's trying to get it around to the pit lane. And it looks like Taijo's
gone.
Yeah, Taijo's retired it. Being the way this race has gone and all the guys who've fallen out, I might have tried to get it around for the championship points, but obviously Taijo thought he couldn't. Mark's still trying to figure out if he can get this car right, but I don't know if he's going to here. And we might see another car out, so attrition taking its toll here at Watkins Glen. We had 14 starters, and we are now down to 10 on the track, and it may soon be 9, and it looks like Taijo is going to join us.
Cat Guy's starting to now drop off the back of Pogo and Mark. Mark seems to have the better pace at the moment.
55.4, that last one, let's see what this is. 55.4.
Yeah, Mark C still upside down on the exit of turn 1.
Yeah, they need to watch out. That's a yellow flag in that section of the track. Pogo just a little bit behind him. Mark Webber was definitely faster in the first half of the fuel stint. Last time, you were right. I've raced with Cat Guy a long time. He's a guy who sets the car up for long runs and sets the car up to be good in the back half of the run. So the fact that he's this close this late in the race looks pretty good. As a little heart-stopping moment there for Webber as Ed Yeager bounced through the bus stop. He's currently back in 7th. But Taijo, since we got you in here, and we do have a battle for position. Muttley trying to hold off McToasty for 4th place, but what happened that took you out?
Yeah, Mark C spun in front of me, and he went across the track. I went to the right, and by then I was too late. So, yeah, I think it was my fault. I'm not sure, but it all happened so quickly. So.
It was too banged up to get it around.
Yeah. But to use super pressure, I didn't.
I just got disqualified off the start. It said I should have been in 13th about 3 seconds before the start,
Jesus
and then just
Christ.
disqualified me. So very disappointing.
Yeah,
Toasty's getting a run. Can he do it down into the bus stop? Not quite.
Yeah, it's nearly impossible to pass here because the dirty air, and because there's a turn in nearly every kilometer of the track. And as you can see, if you're coming right behind after that turn, you can lose about a second at most. So.
And it's a fast track. It's a fast track, and you've got to, it's like racing a speedway because of the aerodynamics. Yeah, I'm gonna guess that's Mark. So down to 9 of the 14 starters still running, just under 17 minutes to go. We're expecting to run somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 laps, and we're currently working lap 30.
2 seconds, potentially a bit of damage.
Yeah, I don't know. Can't see any damage on Pogo's car. He's fallen back though. the last couple laps from Mark Webber.
Might just be saving his tyres, ready for a push at the end.
He's twitching a lot, so it looks like damage to me.
Pogo not really running for points this season. Don't have him on the point standings here. Check his results. Thought he had... Yeah, he did not
If you
run...
look at the standings now, Just Pidlin, Super Crusher, and me have retired, so this will be a huge shift in the standings as we see it right now.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, Pogo only
Toasty's in the pits.
has... This is Pogo's first. McToasty hitting the pit lane for a second time. Huh.
And Muttley will have to push right now, just 'cause he got a bit of clear air, but I don't know if this is McToasty's second stop. I'm not sure.
It is McToasty's second stop, and I'm not sure if there's
Yeah.
he has damage that we're not seeing, because you would
I
not
just don't think he was
schedule...
going to make it to the end on fuel. He only had about 30 litres left, so...
That could be it. Either way, he's going to try to just get as many points as he can with guys like you sitting in the booth with me. 5th place is better than nothing.
Oh, I saw he pitted a bit later than me, which I pitted about 3 minutes in. So, in my guess, he could have made it, but I'm not sure if that was for damage or not. Because 58 liters is more than enough to make it to the end.
And we'll have to see what it is, but either way, it's going to take him out of the fight, really. I don't think these guys are coming back in front of him. And,
Probably settle for 5th place and trying to book it for fastest lap at this point.
Yeah, get the points. Try to do what he can to get the points. Meanwhile, Muttley's got to come through traffic if he's going to have a shot at Cat Guy on the podium. Cat Guy still trying to race down Pogo and was actually significantly faster that last time by. But Mark Webber down in the 54s is pulling away.
If things stay the way they are now, this will jump Cat Guy into the lead of the standings, because we're all 35 points behind.
Yeah, right. He could come on late, and that's what I said. This is going to be a major shake-up race here with the major incidents going on, but that's why we love this place. It's a legendary circuit here in the Americas and worldwide, really. It's fast, it's challenging. You got to be aggressive, but especially coming up through the S's or in turn 1, it's such a narrow line that you got to follow at a very high speed. And it's too bad you guys aren't still out there battling. It goes around HHV and lap traffic, who got in one of those early incidents. But still 6 cars on the lead lap as we're
Gap's
inside
nearly a
of
second
14
now
minutes.
for... Gap's nearly a second between Pogo and Cat Guy. As Pogo makes a mistake, goes off in the second part of the bus stop.
Yeah, it looks like Cat Guy's moving in. Let's go ahead and get on board in that PureTech Chevy of Cat Guy. As I said, this is his home race. He's had a lot of miles here. I've raced him here many, many seasons. And he has a car that you called it, Super Crusher, 100% on. This guy doesn't worry about his qualifying trim. He'll take anything in the front half of the field and then wait for the race to come to him. I know he'd like to be closer than 10 seconds right now, and they may not have the pace of the leaders, but they were running faster than the leaders in the back half of the tire run. So I think he's trying to hang on.
He's going to have a go here.
He might be on the
Goes
push
to the
to pass.
outside.
Looks like he's there.
Yep. Easy done.
And he goes around Pogo into second, but Pogo's not going to lay down. These two have raced each other for a long time.
He's going to lose time here. He's getting washed out. There you go.
It's interesting that Pogo gave up the racing line to defend.
Yeah, I would think that I would have tried to force him to the inside, yeah. But he's also thinking that maybe Pogo doesn't want to use a push to pass there, and he figured Cat Guy was on it.
Bit of a Pogo steering there, steering slightly to the right in every straight, so that might suggest suspension damage.
Oh yeah, let's check. Matter of fact, while we're on that, just in case it comes up, let's check our push to pass. Mark has 7, Cat Guy has 6, Pogo has just 3, Muttley has 7, and he's on it right now. McToasty's has 5. Revs Martin has all 10. He hasn't used his at all. Survivor's got all 10. Ed Yeager's got all 10, and HHVC has 9. I'll guarantee you there's at least one person in the field that's not using their push to pass because they forgot to put the button on their options. That's probably...
Yeah, Cat Guy's closing in now. He's got massively top end. He's reaching almost 190 down the back straight up the hill.
Yeah, Cat Guy's moving in. He was half a second quicker that last time.
Yeah, but Mark Webber's still managing that gap. He's coming up to a back marker now. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, half a second quicker that time. But Cat Guy, as quick as he's going, he's got Pogo to worry about right behind him. And if he can get a gap on Pogo, he might be able to pull something off. Looks like Mark gets through the traffic.
Was that Revs the Supercrusher that I heard?
Yes, that is Revs in the background.
Rev's having a pretty decent race, running back there in 6th. He's just,
he was the lap car.
Yeah, just went off the lead lap. And he started, 11th in the field, and has moved up with all the trouble. He's kept that car clean and has a chance at a top 5 if anybody else has a problem. McToastie's got a second penalty. Survivor's got 3 seconds. Those are not really factors at the moment. But as a matter of fact, Survivor and Ed Yeager, who are...
I'll tell you what, from me Supercrusher's perspective, this might be the most dramatic season we've ever had so far in Flux.
In the IndyCars, it certainly is, and these guys are 3 laps off the lead, battling for 7th place. Nose to tail, Survivor and Ed Yeager.
On the back of Pogo for 3rd.
Yeah, there's another one.
That suspension damage not giving him any favors.
Yeah, I don't see it on the car, but I think I think you're right. I think there's something slightly askew with Pogo's Honda.
Yeah, you can't see it on the car because he's probably hit the wheel instead of the wing. And the wing might lose you top end, but the suspension can lose
bent A-arm, something like that. But whatever it is, I think it's slowing him up. You can see that he's not throwing that thing. Like, see how much he clipped that corner? You're doing that when the car's loose.
Yes.
When the car's not handling right.
Yeah.
And it looks like Muttley's pushing for that podium.
I lost a few places in the rear, and I don't know if Pogo's got one on the rear or on the front, but you lose steering in the front, but in case of Pogo, he's twitching, so he's probably lost it in the rear right.
Muttley's got a run on him, goes to the inside.
Muttley's going for it.
Pogo comes over.
I bet you Muttley's on the push to pass.
Out.
No, when there's a big contact. I thought Muttley was beside him. It's hard to call it on that one move, but they were side by side. Pogo turned in, they made contact, and he made big contact.
This is the most awful thing here in this track, because everything happens so quick. You just never know what the hell happened when an incident like that just happens. You just think that it's either your fault or the other cars, but you just never know.
It looks like Pogo's going to try to limp that around. How bad is Muttley? Oh, Muttley's got damage too, and these guys were fighting for a podium. Yeah, Muttley's coming in, and that is music to the ears of McToastie.
I did see Toasty did run over a bit of debris then from that crash, so I don't know if he got damage from that.
Yeah, we'll have to check that. And there's debris back there. He looks like he's okay. Pogo coming in. I don't want to call something like that on from the one camera angle I'm looking at, which is coming down the track, looking at them heading towards me. But it looked to me like they were side by side and they got locked together, or one of them turned in. Maybe Pogo turned in from the outside. I don't know, but whatever it was, they both took the worst of that. And that's unfortunate because they were battling for a podium, and all of a sudden, look who's back in 3rd place. Toastie's all the way
to 4th.
Yeah, Reb's all the way up to 4th now with a chance of getting in the top 5. McToastie here started 3rd, fell all the way back to 11th, and now here he is, working his way through the field.
7 laps behind. There's not Reb's there in the background again.
Oh, no, it's great.
All right, just over 7 minutes remaining, working lap 40. We got maybe about 9 or 10 more to go, and it looks like Mark Webber, if everything goes well and he keeps the wheels on this thing, he'll be getting his 2nd IndyCar win of the season and the 2nd of his Flux career.
Yeah, he's got nothing to lose here. 12 seconds. What more can you lose out of it from a spin, which you can lose potentially about 5 seconds, so you can't.
Well, it depends on how bad that spin is, though.
To spice it up a bit more, coming out of the pit lane, Muttley and Pogo are very close together, but Pogo had to wait for Mark Webber to go past, and Muttley got him coming out of the pits.
Yeah, no kidding. Muttley, though, they didn't. I'm surprised they didn't give him a warning for the track entrance, but he was obviously there trying to avoid Pogo. He wasn't ready for Pogo to be stopped. We'll see how that works out, but either way, Mark looking for that second win, and he's in the driver's seat. Last lap, he was half a second quicker. I think with a clear track, he's home free. But we've seen weirder things happen. Just 9 of the 14 cars are still running.
Mark Webber's managed this race beautifully, exactly as he intended it to. But I expect he never intended to be in the lead. But he's managed to get through all the back markers safely, unlike all the others who've got through some incidents. But Mark Webber's driven beautifully now, slowly but surely, through the finish.
Yeah, just trying to hang on to it. But battles on the track a little bit scarce here, so we'll talk about where the championship's going. Cat Guy here from 4th place. Steadily moving up. The season 3 IndyCar champion 2 seasons ago, and still looking to get back in victory lane, but he's just steadily chopped it down. He was on the podium at Long Beach. He ran well, finished 4th at Indianapolis last week. If he can finish 2nd here, as you said, I don't know the exact math, but this might put him in the points lead.
Super Crusher, this might be a bit of a relief to you, but you're going to be only... so 35 points is going to be the retiree amount of points since we didn't finish. So You're still going to be in the lead by barely. I think about 3 points.
Yeah, unless Cat Guy can win it. I think if Cat Guy wins it, he takes the lead.
Flips it, yeah. Well, all you can do is wait and watch.
Right now. Yeah. Seeing how Mark Webber's been driving in this series and LMP2s and the rest of the series he's been running, I think he's a solid driver. Just knows to take it slow and just knows when to back it off, and I think that's what you need to be a competent driver. Yeah,
he's managing to take it there. Cat Guy, you got to be impressed though. Started 7th, 8th on the field. Just like we said, comes on strong in the race. He slowed down the last couple laps, but at least kept it interesting. Yeah. But Mark Webber's got it running away now, down to 4 minutes. Let's see where he's running now.
He was stabbing the throttle down to the bus stop, so it looks like he's feeling the tires go now.
Now, this is where it gets interesting. It looks like these guys should be fine on fuel. McToasty is.
He's up to 4th, you didn't notice that?
Yeah, rev all the way up to 4th. That would, I believe, match. Has he been on the podium yet in the IndyCars? I know he's been 4th.
He hasn't.
That would match his best finish. I know he's been as high as 4th. Muttley and Pogo still going at it there, looking for 5th. They're going to be disappointed in that. But that looked like a racing incident to me. They were side by side.
Yeah, there's just no way to tell, really. And there are lots of incidents, I think, with just piddling and HHV, as I've heard in the comms while I was in there. So, championship contenders are basically out of this race, but after this race, there's got to be new championship contenders.
And you saw that little wiggle from Mark Webber right there. Don't know if maybe those tires are getting a little old, but he's got enough of a lead that he has the cushion to do that. Yeah, he has the cushion to do that. He wiggled a little through turn 1 there, but just has to hang on to it, bring it home for that second win. But as we said, that's going to move Cat Guy up. McToasty back in 3rd. Got to give him all the credit for getting, if he can hang on to it, getting back up to the podium. He started 3rd. I don't know I don't know where he went off. We didn't catch that on the broadcast. But the next thing we know, we looked up and he was in 11th. And he did what you got to do. He took a deep breath and he's been steadily picking them off. And despite the problems he's had, thanks to other people's problems, he's going to pick up a pretty hefty number of points.
And this says a lot about the caliber that a lot of the Flux guys have. A lot of guys will have a bad race and then just tempt to give up. 100 suspension damage, 100 aero damage all around, and will just not even try to get to the pits to try and fix that problem and recover. But commiserations to HHV, 8 minutes behind the leader.
That's what I was going to say. I was just going to put the camera on him in the Napa Auto Parts Honda, got his first career win last week at Indianapolis. He comes in here, he gets into that wreck in the S's, and he's out there. And because he's out there, what could of 14 starters, instead of finishing 14th with 0 points, he's going to finish in 9th place and pick up all of those points because other guys had problems. And that's what you got to do if you want to compete. You got to give him all the credit in the world. He's going to still end up with a top 10 despite that horrific accident. So he does deserve a lot of credit for hanging in there.
Looks like Cat Guy's going to be very close on fuel.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking that with
2 laps to go, actually.
Yeah, I think they've got enough. I think looking at the numbers on the board, I think they've got enough. There's going to be one more lap after this one, so we're going to do 48, and I believe they're going to be fine. But they are cutting it close, but it looks like a planned close. That looks like people who knew how many laps they needed to do, and they wanted to have as light a car as possible.
It's got about 5 liters left, so it's got enough to get it to the end. It's like easing off now. It's started to lean.
Yeah, it looks like he's leaned it out. I doubt Cat Guy has leaned it out, but he may have.
They should just make it on fuel. Maybe a bit left by the end.
Yeah, they should be fine, I believe. He's bringing it down. Mark Webber, as we said, got the win at Willow Springs. There was a little controversy about the start, but he drove a great race and held on to get the win. And now he comes back 3 weeks later and does it at Watkins Glen. The races he's missed, it's going to take some ground making up to get in the championship. He came in 11th, but nonetheless, an impressive debut season for him.
He managed a good gap while he was behind me, and he was trying to catch up when he thought he could put a bit of pressure, but comes around the last 2 corners, and Mark Webber's on his way to win in Watkins Glen.
Yes, he is. Here he comes in the Nova Nordisk car, and it will be Mark Webber for his second win of the season in the Flux IndyCar Championship here at Watkins Glen. A fantastic drive from the Australian. He adds to his earlier season win at Willow Springs, and he has had a fantastic debut season here in a wild race at Watkins Glen. Cat Guy's bringing it around home. We're going to let these guys drive it home. Cat Guy brings it home in second. Season best for him, another podium finish, and it's going to put him right back in the heart of the championship. And McToasty, got to give him all the credit. Did he now? 54-1?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
He McToasty 5 seconds.
He played it up, came out and got it on the final lap and picks up an extra bonus point. But the man of the hour is Mark Webber in the 83 Nova Nordisk Chevrolet. Picks up the second win, and a little far back in the points, but with all the DNFs, it's going to move him in. But let's go ahead and give the final results here for the Season 5 Flux Motorsport IndyCar Championship, Round 5 at Watkins Glen. Mark Webber, the Australian driver, takes home the victory from the 4th place starting spot, second win of the season. Great job for him. Cat Guy comes up from 7th in the field to stand on next to him on the podium in second in the PureTech car, and McToasty with a beautiful recovery drive drives through the carnage and rounds out our podium drivers. Another podium for those guys. Revs Martin matches his career IndyCar high in the Snapple Honda as he finishes 4th, came from all the way back 11th on the starting grid. Muttley drives it home into 5th, but he and Pogo in 6th have to ask. They had a shot at the podium if they didn't get together right there. 7th was Ed Yeager, and once again, another guy driving smart. He's 3 laps off the lead and got some damage, but started 14th on the field and drives it all the way up to 7th by keeping the car going. Survivor does a similar trick. He brings it home in 8th. A tough luck day for the Indianapolis winner, but HHVC drives it home in 9th. And Mark C., Ty Joe, Cracked Piston, Just Piddlin', and Super Crusher, all the unfortunates who had to retire or deal with the ire of the marshals. So we're going to about wrap it up here. Any final thoughts, Ty Joe?
Revs Martin didn't look for the last to first challenge he expected, but he got it up to 4th. So he's out there right now.
Good run for him. Yeah, Super Crusher. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, Toasty did quite well. At the end, he nearly caught up to Cat Guy another lap, and I reckon he would have got him. with the pace difference between them. So
Yes, good on fuel though, so that was a big factor. And Toasty used to always push the passes to get that lap. So
Yes, he did. And he did a great job. He stole a point. Well, we're going to wrap it up here on Flux TV. This is Carlin Hicks for Taijo and Super Crusher. Congratulations to Mark Webber with the win here at Watkins Glen. We will see you tomorrow night right back here at the Glen for the Flux Sports Car Championships. Have a good one.